What is up, guys? I'm gonna do a little tutorial on how to do the Modern Warfare 2 Callsign background, and I don't know how it's gonna turn out. This is gonna be the second time I've tried it. The first one went alright, and I guess got the gist of how it goes, but I'll show you here. First of all, you're gonna want to find a picture of just Modern Warfare 2 in general. You can be anything, just got a intervention or a Barrett if you want, and gonna just drag this into a 1920 by 1080 picture composition. Oh, and make sure on this, if you get it from Google Images or anything, make sure it's larger than this, yeah, or else it'll be shit quality. Yeah, and let me just find this here. So here's this. Just gonna drag that in, okay, and make a new one, and go back to here. You want to type in this flare. I just went with Modern Warfare 2 intervention camo because then it'll come up with people showing off camos and just in general. And for this one, you're going to want to have the actual call sign in it, so make sure you find one with a kill cam. And you're just going to want to save this one as well, and go back into Photoshop. And then when you've done that, you can just zoom in to the call sign. Doesn't have to be HD or anything. Right click, rasterize this layer, and use the selection tool, which is the second tool down. Just zoom in a bit more. Not that much. Photoshop's lagging here, sorry. And just go straight from the edge over here on the black to the other corner, obviously. And then when you've got like this part selected, you're gonna right click, new layer via cut, and then this will make this a layer of its own, which then you're gonna go to file, new, and just gonna type in, well, I do 500 by 500. I mean, it's an alright size, it'll do for now, for what we're doing anyway. And I'm just gonna drag this into here, so we have this. Just gonna zoom in a bit more, and here. And for what this is the tricky bit which I first got stuck on, and what you're gonna do is just use the eyedropper tool and select this kind of like greyish green colour, and I'm just gonna change this up in here. Gonna make it an actual greenish. Just about here will do. And once you've done that, you're just gonna want to zoom back in and use the selection tool again. Make sure you're not on the black, and go over it. Make sure you're not on the black still, and let go. When you've done that, you're just going to get your brush tool and make sure it's on the colour which you want, which is the primary colour. Make a new layer and just go over it. I think that's a bit too bright of a green. See if this is any better. Yeah, it's better. It's slightly green, it'll do. And when you've done that, you just want to deselect this, duplicate this layer with Control and J, and then Control and T to select it. Just drag this down to make it smaller. Drag this over the bottom part. You can use the arrow keys to go pixel by pixel if you must. And when you've got that like in the right place without going onto the black, it should just be blank, like this. And then I'm just gonna open the blending options just by double clicking the layer and go to pattern overlay and select aligned pattern. If you don't have a line pattern, then you could just type in on YouTube something, Photoshop pattern pack or something like that. And then when I've added a pattern overlay to it, which is just straight lines, because if you look on like MW2 kilograms, they tend to have like little lines across them, which gives a nice effect. And then do that to the same one above. And then what I'm going to do with this is just go back to this size. No, I'm not actually. I still need to stay zoomed in. And once you've got this like into place, then you can go create a new layer above all of these and select your brush tool, make it black, just click this little black and white tool above the actual primary colour and go to your brush and make it to a 2 or a 3. I'm going to go with 3 on this one. Is that alright? No, I'm going to go with the 2. 3's a bit too big. Yeah, that's right. And then you're going to go to your pen tool and just zoom in a bit more. And you're just going to click on here to the bottom corner. You get this part, it's not rocket science. Just so you've got the edges black. Because as you can see, well, as you can tell at the moment, they're not really black. They're like kind of greyish and they were blending in with the background, but we'll make that better on the actual composition of it. So once you've done that, you've done a little box around here, you can go right click, stroke path with brush, and then it'll make the lines thicker. And you can also use this on a 3 brush or a 2 brush, whatever size you want. And do it again with this middle line. If you don't have to, but if you if yours is like pretty dull, you can barely see the line, then yeah, I'd recommend you do that. And when we go back out, it's just a blank Callsign then, and then you can do whatever you want to it really. I've got some prestige icons, which I suppose good to use, but like most people use something else, you know. And with this one, I'm just gonna use these. I'm gonna rasterize this layer, makes it editable, and go back to the selection tool. I'm just gonna quickly choose, let's say, I'm just gonna use the 10th prestige. Select it with the selection tool and new layer via cut, and you can delete that layer and it'll just keep this. So then you can use your magic wand tool, the 4th tool down, and click on the white and press delete on your keyboard, and then deselect it, and then it'll make it like this. And then also, if you don't want to have like a little bit of a white around the edge, or like a faded sort of thing, you can turn the tolerance up or down, and that'll make it so it goes closer or further away, etc. So you just gotta drag this into the places. You just do this for all of them, for the actual call sign, the emblem, the logo, etc. And so I've just got 10th prestige here, and on this layer I'm just gonna add a blending option and go to an outer glow of black. Then this is the normal, turn it down a bit, just so you know it's there, but it's not too bad. And as well here, if I can find it, yep, I'm just gonna use one of these random ones, these titles. You're gonna want to find one which is easy cut out, so nothing with like smoke or something like that. Cause this is just like a beginner little tutorial, and it's first time doing this, so I would not use these like explosive ordnance bombs away or any of these, because they've got little smoky bits on which are hard to get like rid of. So I'm gonna go with the invisible one, I suppose. It's alright. So what you're going to do with this one is you're just going to select it with the selection tool as always. And my phone's going. Alright. One sec. Yeah guys, and it's done. It stopped ringing. It might ring again. And yeah, I'm just going to select this, the one which I want. You can get this page off Google Images by just typing in 102 Callsign list or something like that. And again, you're going to rasterize this layer, right click, not that, right click, new layer via cut, and you can delete this layer and you'll be left with this. But obviously if you just put that on, that'll look silly. So you're going to go to your magic wand tool again and turn my tolerance down, so it'll select the brown around the edge, not the brown, the greyish, I suppose, and turn it down again. And just get rid of this grey, because we don't want it. We don't want it here. Just gonna get rid of this. And then when you've got that, it's pretty choppy, but I suppose it'll be fine. And just gonna get rid of these last little bits on the end, which just make it look a bit dodgy. Obviously you can do this much better. All you have to do is get rid of the outline, and when you've done that, you're just gonna Control T and make it bigger to about this size. Hopefully it doesn't go blurred. Yeah, it went blurred. And I'm gonna do this again actually. I'm gonna get one from a different page. I'm just gonna make it bigger. Sorry about this. Give us 2 seconds. But the bigger I make this, the less blurry or shit quality it goes. So, and I made that bigger. Yeah, this juggernaut one will do. So okay, and rasterize this layer. Use selection tool and just select it. All of this in. Right click, new layer via cut, as I've said before many times, and then you're just gonna be left with this. Use the magic wand tool. Get rid of the grey outside. And there you go. Yeah, it's really bad quality. Alright, 1 sec. So let me just try this. Oh god. Okay, get rid of this. Get rid of that. And this. And that. Of course you can use a pen tool on this if it's so bad like this, which I probably will show you now since this isn't going very well, and hopefully it'll turn out better. It should do. Oh, I can't go back any further. Yeah, I suppose I'll have to do. And then what you're going to do with the pen tool is just going to make this bigger. Get the pen tool and click at the edge of, well, the start of the curve, or any curve you've got, and you're just going to click and drag out You can obviously search up a tutorial on how to use a pen tool if you don't get it from this. And hold Alt and click on this, the little point which you've just clicked and held, and then it'll get rid of that. You can click on the end of the curve and do it again on this side. And then hold Alt and click it again. Go all the way down here and drag out. Hold Alt, click there, go to the end and do another nice little curve again. Hold Alt, click and go to the other side. And then when you've done that, you're just going to right click, make selection. Okay, so then it selects it. And use this, new layer via cut, and delete this. And it's better. There you go. And now, when you've done that, you can get this, just drag it in here. Oh, drag this in here. Control T again, and just gonna make it bigger. Holding Shift while you're dragging the corner as well, so it doesn't go out of proportion. Gonna make this a bit smaller. And then when you have that, you can add your logo, and the logo which I'm going to add is my signature, which I had made for me, and which is this. So I've got a new one, and it's ultra sexy. And I'm going to drag this down to about this size, maybe a bit bigger. I'm just going to put this in where the emblem would go, but you can add anything you want to it. You can add shit, whatever. And I'm just going to add a colour overlay of white, because that's sexy if you add a drop shadow onto it as well, and that looks really nice. So yeah, that's good. And now for the text, which is pretty easy. Just gonna create a new layer, don't have to, and select the text tool. How long we've been going? 17 fucking minutes. Shit. Alright. Well, now you've got this, you're just gonna make a new text, and you're just gonna type in whatever you want. In this case, I'm gonna type in Who's Wilco, which is my YouTube. There you go. And I think they're too close together, so what I'm gonna do is just gonna highlight the word again, and then here, just gonna click, and this has all these effects which you can do, and just gonna make them wider apart by using this V/A and make it bigger. If you don't have this, then you can, if you don't have this on the side to the right, because you can't see my mouse, then you can go to Window and then select Character, and it'll come up to the side. But at the moment my Photoshop has froze. Oh, there you go. Nope, still lagging like shit. Bit better, bit better, bit better. Oh yeah, by the way, the font is Bank Gothic. It doesn't matter what Bank Gothic you use, it's just Bank Gothic, you know. Alright, now I've done that, I'm just gonna click tick at the top, move it to where you want it, and what I'm gonna do with this one is just double click the layer where your text is to bring up the blending options. Color overlay, you're going to use a greenish, like this color. And then just gonna add a gradient overlay, and then turn the color overlay down so it does have a gradient on it. And then I'm gonna go to stroke and stroke this with 1, and add a drop shadow. Then go on the drop shadow, change the distance down a bit, click OK. Now you've done that, you can duplicate this layer, the text layer, with Control and J. And then when you've done that, go back onto the text tool, And my phone's going again. I'm done. And I'm just gonna pick a number, and I'm just gonna do 1337. That's a nice number. I'm just gonna put this here. You can hear the phone in the background, but yeah, that's not my fault. That is not my fault. What are you gonna do? I'm just gonna make this smaller, close together, and I'm gonna make it bigger font. Well, not that big. Gonna make it this big. One second, Photoshop's lagging. Just gonna do that. Put that there. Click OK. Go back to the layer with the emblem on. Oops. Select the move tool. You can press Control V, I believe, to get that move tool up. And when you've done that, you've duplicated the layer. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back onto this, go to color overlay on the number, and change it to a greyish white. When you've done that, you're just going to click OK. Click OK, and hold Shift. Click the top layer, hold Shift, and then click the bottom layer. Drag all the layers down into a group, and then now you're going to open up your template. Open up your template for the backgrounds. Here's mine. So what you're going to do is drag group 1, the only group there, shouldn't be any layers, into here, and then you should get this, and turn the color correction off. If it ever loads. Control T, make it bigger. I suppose that's an alright size, isn't it? And now I'm going to make it smaller. You won't be able to see anything in the background. So now once you've done that, you moved it into place, you've got all this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your first page, and I'm just going to rasterize this for the hell of it. And you're going to drag this into the new layer. Oh my holy god. Stop spamming the fucking phone. You knob. Sorry. What you're gonna do is just gonna oh my, the phone! What you're gonna do is just drag this up, and you're gonna drag it slightly bigger, like about this much bigger than the actual composition. Just gonna click the tick again, and just gonna drag this up, up until it's about here on the gun. And what you're gonna do is just click on the group one, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna duplicate the group with Control J. If that doesn't work, right click, duplicate, and then make the bottom group invisible by clicking the little eye next to the layer, and then turn the layer opacity down to 90% to make it a bit see-through. And then what you're going to do is you're going to right click and merge group, and when you merge group it'll be just one layer, and then you can go Control T, and then there's this tick and little circle, and then you've got this all like transform thing. You're going to click this, and you're just going to slowly drag the layers, the corners in. Just going to drag the corners in a bit. Dragging the corners in. And then when you've done that, you got this, so it makes it look like it's popping out at you. And then what you're going to do is you are going to hold Control and click the back layer where the intervention is, and you're just going to hold Control T and just rotate this layer a bit. just rotate this like a mouse. Then once you've done that, now you can go on the top layer and you can duplicate it and then make the bottom one not visible. And this is the glitch effect which you can do, which I probably won't do since I don't really like it. And just make a little selection tool, and then you hold shift and make another little selection, and then you hold shift again, you make another selection, and again, and again. Make these little ones or else it'll turn out bad. And then what you're going to do is right click, new layer via cut, and then you're going to go to your selection tool, not your selection tool, your move tool at the top, and you're just going to move it along a couple, just with your what's called arrow keys. And then when you've done that, I'm really bad at the glitch effect, so I'm just going to put that back, but you can do it however you want it. And what you're going to do now is, when you've done that, you can, well, what I would do to this is duplicate the actual intervention layer, filter gallery, and glowing edges, use edge width 1, edge brightness 17, smoothness 5, click OK. And then when this is done this, you can go to the blending options, linear dodge add. And then when that's done that, just turn it down. It just makes it like a bit softer instead of like all hard and rough around the edges. And then when you've done that, click on the top layer, create a new layer, and go to adjustments, which if you don't have it, again, is a window and adjustments, and then it'll come up brightness and contrast. And what I would do is turn the contrast all the way up, and then turn the brightness slightly up, maybe turn the contrast down a bit, but just to make it brighter, you know. And when you've done that, you have this, and you can do whatever you want with it. All this pava balava, put your little signature on it, make it yours, all that. You can add blur to it if you want to add the finishing touches as blur, which is just, you get the layer which you want the blur on, and filter, blur, motion blur, radial blur, Gaussian blur. They're the ones I use. Yeah, and when you've got that, this will look like this, and hopefully after fucking half an hour of a tutorial, fucking hell, you'll be able to do this, you know. Probably not. It's gonna take the fucking piece to render and upload. Oh well. First tutorial, so you know, give me some slack. Yeah, so thanks for watching. If you did watch all of it or anything, whatever. If you're planning on doing this, my Skype is on my channel in the info shit about me or anything. Add me if you want. So yeah, goodbye guys.